Hey, my name is Shaunak, and I'm responsible for sales and go-to-market functions here at Xampr. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to talk you through a preventative and predictive maintenance solution that we at Xampr are really excited to bring to the market. Now, you might ask, why Xampr? Just imagine for a second if you're able to get access to events and real-time information from the edge of your enterprise. Imagine a scenario where you're able to make decisions and get maximum productivity and efficiency from your existing resources. This is exactly where Xampr's human process automation platform intends to come in. We intend to bring people, systems, and processes together so that you can prevent very expensive maintenance failures and get the maximum out of your existing warranties and your existing investments. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, people, processes, and systems, we have heard that before, and we all have. What's different? What we have observed is that the systems and processes tend to go hand in hand, and very often than not, the people aspect is ignored. What do I mean by that? You would have probably, as an enterprise, used a consultant to advise you on what's the most efficient way for your go-to-market, your strengths in the business, your proposition to your customers is the best system to use and the best processes to use. And these will be optimized so that you can leverage your people the most. And there is nothing wrong with that. However, what tends to happen is both the people, when the people evolve, both the processes and the systems tend not to be able to play the catch up, or it is very expensive to replace either the systems or the processes. This is exactly what Xampr intends to address with the focus on human process automation. What we would do is using our no-code application platform and using the BPM and RPA capabilities that are built into the system, we take care of the system and process aspect as quickly as possible with least amount of cost so that you can go back and focus on your people, which are your biggest asset. The platform itself then allows you to design processes or execute existing processes around the people and the needs that they have. For example, contextual chat that people might, like employees might be using information to exchange amongst themselves is not captured. You can capture that with Xampr and at a very low cost as well. So what the platform tends to do is really combine the uniqueness that the people bring into the organization, and as people change, their behavior would change, their knowledge levels would change, and the platform would learn on its own to leverage the no-code application platform capabilities as well as the BPM and RPA capabilities, so bringing in both the system and the process aspect to serve best for the people. So let us quickly take a look at the details of what the Xampr platform is. The platform, being a no-code application platform, allows you access to a rich set of designer tools to design your application itself, and it can give you ability to build an intuitive user experience and have an adaptive UI which looks and feels the same whether it's on a mobile application or on a web design. It then gives obviously access to HPA services as well as the business process management workflows. So things that like smart tags, smart forms, contextual chats, etc. They were available to you for designing of those applications and the interactions that the user is going to have with the system. It allows out-of-the-box integration with your existing backend ERP or legacy systems. We might have to incorporate some APIs, but that's something that the Xampr team will be very happy to help you with. We can also provide you a full-fledged IIOT integration. We do provide sensors ourselves, but it can very well integrate to existing sensors and existing systems that you might have. Last but not the least, you can obviously teach the system in terms of machine learning as well as identify candidates for RPA. The system will give you recommendations around that. You can leverage things like NLP to build contextual chatbots, automate certain things, do voice-based activation of certain activities, etc. Full-fledged analytics and reporting capabilities are also available around the entire application that you design or leverage. And in this case of preventative and predictive maintenance, you can get access to service ticketing and all the history of the asset in terms of maintenance activities. Whilst today we are just discussing one vertical solution which is automotive and aerospace, which is typically where we find preventative and predictive maintenance as a use case. We also have other vertical solutions that we are developing with our partners. Facilities management solution within real estate is one of the examples. We do have other horizontal modules, which in case you're interested to find out more, e-log management, shift management, facility management, as I was mentioning, event management, leave and expense management. So the entire workforce automation kind of scenario. Track and trace is another focal area for us. And it leverages the LCAP runtime that we've developed in the backend, including the access to a rich set of tools that I mentioned in my previous slide. So how would Xampr work in case of preventative or predictive maintenance? So it could be IoT sensor that is sending information, sending a measurement about a particular parameter that it's measuring, which could be outside the normal, and that would trigger some sort of a review. Or it could be an operator or supervisor who has been working with the machinery or that asset who identifies something is wrong. And as a result, they raise a ticket, which is then verified by the relevant person responsible. And whilst this happening, is obviously there is notification that is sent once the ticket is accepted that yes, there is a maintenance activity that is required, which is either raised by a human or by the machine in terms of a preventative or predictive scenario. And once that is done, the maintenance supervisor and maintenance head, you could then configure the system in a way that depending on whoever the stakeholders are in the process, they would be informed. They would basically get a pop-up notification on their Xampr application saying this and this activity has happened. The ticket itself is then can be automated in terms of routing to service engineer, depending on the knowledge, depending on the proximity to a particular asset or particular machine, who then looks at the asset or the machine itself, looks at what maintenance has been done in the past, and then looks at if, for example, there is spare part that need to be ordered, that can be done. And once he or she has all the tools and the information needed to fix, they will carry out a fix or do a preventative maintenance, whatever the activity is required, and close the ticket. And again, analytics on this is completely enabled at every single level. Existing ERP integration is also possible. So for example, if you need to send, after all this is confirmed, a maintenance order to your backend system, that is possible. If you need to read asset information at any point in time, that is also possible via backend integration. To find out more, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to give you further details. So what are the benefits of incorporating preventative and predictive maintenance using Xampr? So you obviously have access to real-time data and decision-making based on real-time data. You get access to the entire history of maintenance. And again, I mentioned that you can integrate with the backend system here if required. But you can then enhance it with pictures, videos, chats about a particular issue or incident related to a machine or an asset, which can then be used in the future. You can look at the maintenance plans, and if there is none maintained in the backend, you can maintain them in Xampr itself. You can optimize the resources as far as inventories for spare parts, as well as allocation of service personnel to respective sites, machinery, etc. is concerned, because you would know when you would need to perform the next set of maintenance activities, and you can optimize that overall service personnel utilization that way. Of course, if you have specific asset warranties or machine warranties, you can upload them in Xampr, and you would get information and notifications accordingly as to when those run out and when to maximize their lifespan. As I mentioned earlier, you get access to analytics and insights. What you see is as dashboards are completely configurable. Once the scenario is implemented, you obviously get typical things like incident tickets, machine conditions. But if your IoT sensor, for example, is sending readings, you can get periodic reports that are automated. Based on that, you can calculate things like machine productivity, asset warranty, against how well you're doing against asset warranties, etc. So those kind of reports and analytics can be built very easily. The platform itself is a no-code application platform, which means even designing of these kind of reporting activities is at a touch of a button without any coding language that is necessary. This is all I wanted to cover in my video. Thank you very much for your time. If you need more information, visit us at xampr.net or reach out to me via LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help you further. Thank you for your time.